gentlemen, boys and girls, and friends of Essex Police and the wider dog section, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Essex Police Pavilion today, and of course the 4th Retired and Fallen Essex Police Dog Medal ceremony. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Brad Dickel, I'm the inspector on the dog section. I've been there for 3 years now, so I've got to know our dogs really well. Firstly, I'd like to point out our sponsors for today's event are Rachel and Paul Galpin, good friends of the fund and have assisted us in the past, so thank you very much for your assistance today. Now, we are up against it for the weather, so if it does rain we will make a very quick detour inside, but we'll crack on out here regardless, as it's still a fairly dry day. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome some special guests, fantastic supporters of our dogs and officers to today's event. Please show your individual appreciation for the following. Our patron of the Essex Retired Police Dog Fund, Lady Rosemary Ruggles-Brise. Fantastic supporter of the award ceremonies, Lord Peter, Knights Commander of the Royal Victorian Order. Praise indeed. Our founder and chair of the fund and a true friend of the section, Linda Belgrove. And we're honoured today to welcome the head of Specialist Operations, Assistant Chief Constable Pippa. And last but certainly by no means least, Paul Nicholls, QPM. I've got some hecklers from the audience, so I wasn't quite remove them, please, somebody. Right, okay, the batting order. In a moment, I'll be handing over to our patron to kindly say a few words, followed by Assistant Chief Constable Mills. We'll then commence the ceremony where each of the dogs, in company with former handlers and owners, will have an opportunity to come up, receive the fantastic medals and a copy of the certificate. Rest assured, the event will run like clockwork. Dogs, kids, it's going to be something should be fine. Should be fine. Plenty of opportunities for photos. We've got photographers here as well. Please don't be shy of coming up. If you'd like to take a photo, then by all means come up and we can slow things down for you to get that. Okay, without further ado, I'm going to change the batting order slightly and invite up our chair, Linda Belgrove.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. The reason for the just slight change of the programme is we have Mike Baldwin here and Chris and Ali. Oh no, Ali's not here. No, but Chris is here. You might have seen on social media that Mac, who was the front cover dog for our current calendar, and sadly Mac died this year. But we'd like to present the cup that we give to whoever wins the front cover of our calendar. And so Eric Adams is here. And we have the cup that's called the Anne Adams Cup, because Anne was a great supporter of the fund. Sadly, Anne passed away, but we use the cup now in her memory to give to those who win. So if you'd like to step up, please, and you, Claire, if you'd like to step up.
Thank you. I'd like to invite up, please, to say a few words, our patron, Lady Rosemary Ruggles-Brise.
As patron of the Essex Retired Police Dog Fund here, it was while I was High Sheriff of the county a few years ago that I became very aware of the importance of the dog section and the way that they contributed to keeping our streets of Essex safer. Their dedication, commitment and enthusiasm is second to none. And in that I do include two-legged people, members, as well as the four-legged as such. And then it's thanks to Linda Belgrove, who had the inspiration to set up the fund, that these worthy workers, four-legged workers, can be ably supported in their retirement. The Essex Police have always supported the fund, and we're very grateful today, Assistant Chief Constable, for your presence here and for letting us use this wonderful pavilion and outside as well. So thank you so very much for that. Lord Peter has been with us during his role as Lord Lieutenant every presentation that we've had, and now that he's retired and relaxed and not doing anything, it's even more of a joy to see him here, to take time off. But he has a new role, I understand, and he is patron of, let me get this right, the National Canine Memorial. That's right, it's called Little Secret. So it's a great joy to have him here in his new role. Thank you, Lord Peter. Thanks must also go to all of you who have brought these lovely dogs here. You've taken the time and trouble, you look after them so well, and we are very grateful for you giving up your day to come here. Paul Nicholls had the inspiration of setting up this award, and we're very, very grateful to him for this. I must say, I'm very much looking forward to handing out the awards to these worthy recipients. So thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Good morning everyone. It's an absolute honour and privilege to be here today representing the Chief Officer team at Essex Police. As some of you will know, I only transferred to Essex Police 4 months ago. Just 4 months. So I'm still quite new to the force. But being Essex born and bred, I've been one of the many thousands of followers on Facebook and Twitter of Essex Police. And I've always noticed the pride that the force takes in recognising the contribution, commitment and achievement of colleagues. That, along with the great sense of family that runs throughout the force, has been one of the biggest things that struck me since arriving. And today's ceremony for our retired police dogs is such a great demonstration of how that goes beyond our officers and staff to our extended police family. In Essex, that doesn't just include special constables, active citizens and volunteer police cadets, but also our police dogs. And today, we're not only joined by those canine heroes, but also by their former handlers, puppy walkers, and in some cases, by their current owners. It's a great honour to welcome Lady Ruggles-Brise, Linda, Lord Peter, Paul Nicholls, and sponsors of the event, Paul and Rachel. It's also a special honour today to welcome the family of PC Graham Reid. Welcome to you all, members of Essex Police family. Sadly, 4 of the dogs we'll be recognising today have passed away, one very recently. But today we will remember them, and I've been warned maybe shed a tear or two for them. Most importantly, today we will honour their service. It's not a very well kept secret what a huge fan I am of the dog section. Literally 8 days after arriving in force, one of my very first operational visits was to the police dog kennels in Standard. I was met there by the very smart Inspector Dickel, who dutifully took me on a tour of the kennels. I think he knows what's coming. But anyone who's in the force knows how keen the Chief Constable is on dress standards, particularly in relation to the wearing of her hat. And I'm quite proud of my new hat anyway, so I happily wore it throughout the tour, despite the fact most of the kennels are actually out of public view. So Fred took me and showed me the training field at the rear of the kennels, and bought one of the German Shepherds out so I could throw a few tennis balls for him. I've got 2 quite small dogs at home, so all German Shepherds seem huge by comparison, but this was a really big dog anyway. The game got quite boisterous, so I carefully took my hat off and put it on the ground, all the better to wrestle the ball away from the dog. Immediately, the dog lost all interest in the tennis ball, grabbed my hat and ran. Now, don't get me wrong, I know the amount of training these dogs go through and the high standards they need to achieve and maintain. But could Brad get my hat back off that?
I'll get me coat, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid we couldn't. So a few minutes and various distraction techniques later, my hat was retrieved by a now very hot-bothered Inspector Dickel. Suffice to say, it didn't look quite as crisp as it does today. Brad disappeared for about 5 minutes and actually didn't do too bad a job restoring it to its fresh glory. I mentioned about the family bill to Essex Police a few minutes ago. And what that does mean is that news travels very fast around these parts. So by the time I got back to headquarters from Sandon, the Chief Staff Officer Claire, who happens to be married to an ex-dog handler, inquired about the welfare of my hat. And the legend of this encounter was then immortalised by the Chief Constable, including it in his weekly blog. So now, whenever I'm out and about and I see one of our dog handlers, I always get a joke made about my hat. Ladies and gentlemen, honoured guests, I won't delay the ceremony any longer, only to repeat my thanks for you all being here today to honour these special dogs who were born to love, trained to serve, and have been loyal to the end. Thank you.
Without further ado, that concludes the opening addresses. So we shall move on to the actual presentations. First up is retired police dog Cesar with a handler Graham Newt. Also new owners Emma and Tim Marland. Right, just quickly while that's happening. Cesar served with the police between April of 2012 and September of 2017. General purpose duties, tactical firearms dog. Cesar is an affectionate, loyal dog who has achieved great success in dog trials. He is the current Eastern Regional Dog Champion, ranked 11th in the country for the past 2 years running. Responsible throughout his career for 76 bite arrests, and even 3 armed police officers were put in hospital during those operational days.
Good boy.
It's fair to say that Cesar's retirement has saved the job. Tim, you've got a lovely dog there. Lovely dog. Right, next up is Kobi, with owner Neil York Wade and former handler PC Paul Harvey. Kobi was first handled by PC Neil York Wade until he left the dog section in February of 2014. Kobi was then rehandled until his retirement in December of 2015 by Paul. Kobi was a challenging dog to train, never leave a toy. Possession of everything you had really wasn't important to Kobi. In fact, he once attached himself to his handler's tactical vest at a decamp, thinking the strapping to his baton was a new fun toy to play with. Kobi even completed the track from the decamp, flushed out the criminal having carried a rabbit in his mouth during the track, much to the amusement of the traffic officers in attendance. In January 2015, Kobi finished third in the Essex Police Dog Section trials, became the search champion with a faultless display. Kobi's searching was his strongest discipline, even making the headlines of the Colchester Evening Gazette after locating burglars in the basement of a house in complete darkness. Kobi is now enjoying his retirement with his first handler and his family. Right, next up is police dog Niko, with owner Jack Sneath, former handler again, PC Paul Harvey. Niko served from 2011 to Halloween of 2016, was used as a general purpose police dog and a tactical firearms dog. Niko was first handled by PC Kieran Dale until he retired in 2015. He was then handled by Paul. During his career, Niko was an exceptional operational street police dog, completing tactical firearms courses, and was one of only a handful of dogs that had been able to complete a tag and drag course. Trial work was not Niko's speciality, coming bottom of the section in the trials in 2006. I didn't write this, by the way. In 2006, whereby he bit every criminal on every exercise, was eventually withdrawn by the judges from competing. Niko had bite, tracking and search criminals with both his previous handlers and his last handler. Stated he had never felt more confident and invincible than when he was working on the streets of Essex with Niko. Niko's now enjoying a very well-deserved retirement with Jack, his new best mate. Thank you, Jack, for giving Niko the retirement he fully deserves.
Thanks, Gary.
Next up is police dog Argon, with owner Vida Graham and Callum Gurnett, former handler PC Ian Turner.
Argon? Argon?
Now, Argon served from September of 2010 until September of 2016. German Shepherd, General Police Dog. What's your hat on? Argon served his whole career with PCE and Turner, working in Chigwell, Braintree and Chelmsford. Tactical firearms dog and detained a number of suspects during his working life. Argon has a passion for footballs and likes nothing more than carrying one around the garden for hours on end. Argon was rehomed on retirement and now lives with Vida, Graham and Callum Gurnett, who said although Argon has only been with us a few days, he already feels part of our family. He is affectionate, sociable and playful and seems to be enjoying his new home.
That way's the fun.
Next, we remember police dog Blade, who served with the police between 2007 to 2013 and sadly passed away on the 20th of August 2017, aged 11 years. Call forward Mark Needham. Mark said Blade was a bold, courageous dog, and he was a very friendly and brilliant family dog. I had the privilege to rehandle Blade, and having spent 22 years on the dog section, I can safely say that he was my best. He just loved to work. His only downside was he never knew how to be quiet. A challenge when you're trying to creep covertly towards the rear of a house with a full firearms team at 4 a.m. I have so many great stories, results and memories with Blade. Blade retired to a fantastic home with John and Zal and Malinois, who I'd like to thank. Next up is police dog Boo and owner handler, again Mark Needham. Now Boo served with Essex Police between 2010 and 2015, is a Springer Spaniel, proactive drugs, cash and weapons recovery dog. Boo was sourced by HMRC, having failed by them as a search dog. Boo was allocated to Mark, and it would soon become apparent that he was a sensitive little fellow who needed lots of love and contact. Quite why we gave him to Mark, I have no idea. He soon settled in the family life and became a very affectionate search dog, finding numerous complex hides. He often worked at the V Festival, and funnily enough, he worked at Stansted Airport, then Harwich and Tilbury Seaports, working with other agencies including HMRC. Boo made a number of appearances on the local news and police programmes. He retired with Mark when Mark retired at the end of 2016 and is now a pet and working gun. Next up is police dog Fidget, handler and owner, Paul, he always does this, Paul Nicholls.
It's coming.
He does this, he does this for effect. He wants his drum roll, crescendo, then we have to have a wave and... dog Fidget served with the force between 2012 and 2016. German Shepherd, General Police Dog duties. Fidget was part of the F litter, whose mum was Freya. Fidget was probably the smallest dog in the section, weighing in at 26 kilograms. But her size bellied her phenomenal homework, nicknamed the Pocket Rocket. By the section, she managed to take a few unsuspecting handlers off. I'm getting louder and louder. She also possessed the most amazing nose, trained by a handler using an innovative even, hopefully we didn't get that, tracking method now adopted by the section. She had immense courage and strength. Once in freezing conditions, tracked a high-risk missing person over 2 3/4 miles for over an hour, eventually locating the person hiding in some undergrowth. Fidget was Force Trials winner of 2015, Tracking Trophy winner of 2015, and a competitor in the Regional Trials of 2015. She has now fully embraced retirement, spending hours suckling her blanket, dreaming of the good old days. Police Dog Fidget. As a fitting tribute, it seems only right now to call up Fidget's mum, Freya, and of course our very own Helen Brown. Helen was the former kennel manager at Sandon, and has now come back to join us. Serving from October of 2008 to March of 2011, Freya is a German Shepherd. She was used as our brood bitch.
Well, I don't know.
Manchester born, Manchester bred, she had 1 litter of 9 pups, 7 bitches and 2 dogs. 3 of these pups went on to be Essex police dogs, Frankie, Fidget and Frosty. Freya likes swimming, walking in the woods, finding the largest log branch she can, training, and she adores my husband Stan.
Yeah.
Freya
More than the wife does.
She has a sincere dislike for the vet and the postman. Achievements in her working life. Helen competed in the working trials with Freya, where she qualified and was placed in all stakes up to TD, which is tracking dogs. Freya now enjoys retirement with Helen and Stan in a lovely village in Norfolk. Police dog Freya.
Well done.
Next up is Police Dog King, with owners David and Mary Green and former handler PC Stuart Casserly. Now, King served between December of 2008 and August of 2014 as a German Shepherd and was used for general policing duties. King was bred by Greater Manchester Police, came to Essex at 10 weeks old. At 12 months he was allocated to PC Stuart Casserly. King was a formidable and respected police dog with a wonderful companion to his handler's family, Mel, Ben and Sam. King was awarded a Dedication to Duty award in recognition of finding an elderly missing person who had fallen and become trapped in a lake. It is believed the female would have perished had she not been found by King. Stuart was thrilled when David and Mary Green offered him an idyllic home for his retirement. King is a dog loved by all who meet him, on the right side of the law, and feared by those on the wrong. He is truly deserving of his service medal. David and Mary said, King settled into retirement in the country very quickly, and following a couple of cold nights, decided he would rather sleep in the kitchen, on a comfy bed, than outside. Unless it's thundering, of course, when he rapidly takes up position at the foot of our bed. He loves long country walks, playing football with a very large oversized ball, which is actually meant for a horse, and laying on the rug in front of the fire during winter evenings. He remains very strong, lively and extremely bright and intelligent. He is a joy to be with. We love him to bits. Police Dog King. Next we remember, sadly, a dog which passed away, Police Dog Mac. I'd like to call up owner Chris Baldwin and former handler Mike Baldwin. Mac served as a police dog between January of 2009 and March of 2014. Approximately 10 years old, German Shepherd, conducting general purpose duties. Mac was one of the largest police dogs, weighing in at 46 kilograms. was a dedicated partner and was always keen to assist PC Baldwin with work matters. Sometimes he was too keen, and his barking made some incidents incredibly difficult to deal with. Mac took part in the Essex Police Force trials, winning the Chad Trophy in 2011. He went to retire with PC Baldwin's son Chris and his wife Ali, where he spent 3.5 years as part of the family. Mac enjoyed the luxuries of retirement, including cuddles on the sofa and the bed, running around the parks and beaches, carrying rocks and stones around, and just the love for the great hound that he was. Sadly, Mac passed away on August the 1st of 2017. He was a very special dog in so many ways. Police dog Mac. Next up is police dog Rhianna, with owner Kate Stevens, former handler Sergeant Jamie Edwards. Now, Rhianna, or Rhea as she was known, served with Essex Police between September of 2014 and August of 2017. German Shepherd for general purpose policing duties. Rhianna came from the Essex Police Puppy Programme, joined her brothers in patrolling the county in December of 2014 after completing the various training courses. Although her career was cut short through injury, she assisted with over 60 arrests, located several people hiding, and helped prevent over £1 million of cannabis hitting the streets and being circulated throughout Essex. She has a reputation for being nippy and has nibbled more police officers than criminals. She joined her lovely new family in August of this year, where she has settled in well and demonstrates her intelligence and character that makes her so very special. Police dog Rhea. Next up is police dog Sire. If I could ask up owner and former handler Terry Collinson to remember Sire, who sadly passed away on the 26th of January 2012, aged approximately 11 years. Police dog Sire was a small dog with a big heart that was always a lively presence in the kennels. A revered but sociable dog with those he chose to be with. He was a loyal partner who loved to work and excelled both operationally and when competing in the dog trials. Sire received many accolades during his police service, culminating in a Chief Constable's commendation for bravery, along with his handler in September of 2005. Sire won the Essex Police Force dog trials in 2006, going on to represent Essex at the National Dog Trials in Surrey of 2007. A true friend, working companion and family member who will never be forgotten. Police dog Sire. Stay there, Terry. Next up is police dog Storm. Storm served between March of 2008 and August of 2015. Springer Spaniel, used as an explosives detection dog. Storm completed his initial course in Surrey in March of 2008. A lovable dog that was and remains everybody's friend. A formidable search dog that just loved to please, and like most Springers would do anything for a tennis ball. Even now at the ripe old age of 11, still runs around like a 5-year-old. During his career he searched for many a famous person and venue, including St Paul's Cathedral and the Houses of Parliament, and was ever present when called upon to make the county of Essex a safe place for all of us. A special family member, still loved by all of us. Next up, we remember police dog Wilson. I'd like to call up his owner, former handler, PC Tony Mayer. Sadly, Wilson passed away earlier on this month, aged 7 years old, and was German Shepherd used for general purpose duties, tactical firearms, and tag and drag purpose. Wilson, commonly known as Big Will, was the biggest police dog in size and character. Weighing in at 51 kilograms, he was the gentle giant unless you were on the wrong side of him. obtaining over 200 incidents whereby he has been responsible for apprehending the criminal. He also has had the most bites in Essex Police history, 27. Trained as a tactical firearms dog, he was also a tag and drag dog trained to respond to firearms incidents in support of the wider firearms command. Sadly, Wilson suffered 2 gastric torsions, although came through both of them after surgery. Unfortunately, earlier this year he had a tumour removed along with his spleen, which was proven cancerous. Wilson carried on working after this, but bravely gave up his fight in September, comforted by Tony at home. Police dog Wilson. And finally, we'd also like to mention police dog Dexter, who now lives in Derbyshire, so cannot be here today. He was presented with his service medal and certificate on the 15th of September of 2017. He was owned by Detective Inspector David Balls of Derbyshire and was the former handler to that, Andrew Bailey of Derbyshire Police. Simon Conquest, of course, was his handler whilst he was with us in Essex. Dexter was a German Shepherd. The role was primarily for general policing duties. He began his career in Essex Police with Simon Conquest, who said, "Dexter was a genuine friend who was strong in courage and handler protection, a spirited dog who enjoyed his work, but who also loved to swim and play in the water. Due to his injuries sustained on duty, Simon was no longer able to handle Dexter. Dexter was sold to Derbyshire Police, where he was rehandled by PC Andrew Bailey." Andrew said, "Dexter was famous within 2 hours of his first duty shift. There was a violent disorder on the estate in Derby, 20 to 30 youths causing issues and were outnumbering the officers in attendance. What a great time to trial Dexter. I was so pleased to have got his collar on. He flew out the van as I opened the cage door, full attack mode. Snarling, with top lip curled, so far back it was touching his eyebrows. Never has a crowd dispersed so quickly on that estate. That is how Dexter got his nickname at Derby as the Wolf." Dexter had some great jobs. He prevented a fellow handler being assaulted by biting the swinging arm of the offender who had overpowered the officer. He held on to an offender making off from a GBH in a public house, tracking down offenders from stolen vehicles, found discarded property from burglaries, and prevented suspects from fleeing just by his presence. Dexter was one of the best police dogs I have ever handled. It was the greatest of pleasures knowing him. Handing him over on his retirement was a wrench, but I know that he has gone to a good home with Detective Inspector David Ball, where he is loved and cared for. I wish Dexter well, and I thank you all at Essex for his medal and the honour you have given him. PC Andrew Bailey, Derbyshire Police Dog Section. Simon Conquest and his wife Amanda travelled to Derbyshire in September, where the presentation took place, and he rightly and deservedly received his medal and certificate. Police dog. Right, I'd now like to hand over to our chair, Linda Belgrove, to say a few words.
Well, I'm delighted to see you all here today and our VIP. Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Lord Peter. Thank you, Mal, ACC, Pippa. It's always a pleasure to know that the sun will shine a little so we get good photos of the excellent dogs and those that couldn't be here today. We shed a tear for every one of them because some were invited, like Matt couldn't make it, Wilson, but we will remember the service that the dogs were given. Now, the reason for my little speech at the end is really just to make you aware of Essex Retired Police Dogs Fund, because many of you help us to raise money, because what we do is we contribute towards the vet fees or welfare care of the dogs in retirement, and it can be a very expensive time. Some of the dogs have sustained serious injuries during their working life, and of course as soon as they retire, that's when it clicks in. And sadly, Essex Police of course cannot afford to look after them, so we're able to stand in as the fund. And so we thank you because our VIPs here today make these ceremonies so special for these dogs as they reach their retirement. But the most important thing about today is the medal and the certificate. And as you've seen from the medals that have been given out, it's the Paul Nicholls medal because it's Paul. Come Paul.
You love coming up.
Sonia. It's Paul Nicholls who came up with this wonderful initiative that there be a medal, that there be a ceremony, and that we mark the occasion, that we have some history to the dogs. When were they born? When did they serve? How would it be? And it was such a simple thing, and yet such a marvellous idea. So, Paul, you will receive a certificate. It marks your achievement. Essex Retired Police Dogs Fund doesn't give any money towards the medals. We give our time and we give our support. But our funding goes towards the dogs in their retirement. But Paul does all this work to make sure that this medal will be there. So Paul, if you take that, but also one of the medals surely should have Paul's name on it. So Paul, I took the liberty of getting it done. And so you've got the Paul Nicholls medal, introduced on the 11th of June 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Nicholls. Oh yeah! Competition for Mr. All. Okay, now. I won't put the little bags in there. Never mind. Jenny? May, thank you very much. Sorry about the... where's your mum? Jenny? Please, Mrs. Nicholls. This is Paul's mother, Jenny Nicholls and Freya, who came here today. Oh, thank you. Just a little thank you. Do you want to present those papers? Yay. Thank you. Very. You see, it's quite a fallacy. The gentlemen don't like flowers. Thank you for presenting the medal today. And we remember Anne and Sonia. Thank you very much. Thank you. And Ellie, you'll see a lady who just keeps disappearing. And by the end of today, you will see the most magnificent photos on her website, which I will push forward to all of you. Ellie, put the camera down. Ma'am, you're not here. Please. Ladies and gentlemen of Country Mantics. I'll hand back to Brad. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mum, would you like to come up?
At the beginning I mentioned that we're joined today by the family of PC Graham Reid. And I'd just like to say a few words about Graham. So former Essex Police Constable, collar number 413, Graham Reid, joined the dog section in June 1994. He completed his first basic course with police dog Taffy, an adorable German Shepherd, that's a quote, at Keston in the Metropolitan Police. This was alongside two other Essex officers and close friends, PC Andy Kemp, who's still a serving officer, and PC Rob Wickens, who's since retired. Graham was stationed at Sandland Dog Section and is fondly remembered as a very approachable, friendly and proactive officer who, along with Taffy, forged a formidable pair in the fight against crime. Sadly, Graham passed away on the 1st of October 1996, and it's only right that on the anniversary of Graham's sad passing, 21 years ago today, we remember the excellent officer and kind-hearted person that he was. Graham will never be forgotten by his colleagues on the dog section, or indeed the wider Essex Police family. Today, we're joined by Graham's children, Laura, Wayne, Martin, and their children, and his wife, Karen. So I'd like to invite Graham's family up to receive some photos of Graham.
That pretty much concludes today's medal ceremony. Thank you ever so much for coming along. It's been really nice actually. I've had the privileged position of been the inspector on the dog section now for the last 3 years, and if I'm totally honest, and apologies for those of you that follow me on Twitter, I kind of use that as a platform to put everything out there that the dog section does on a daily basis. And if I'm totally honest, it never ceases to amaze me really what the dogs and the handlers deliver, both in terms of specialist operational policing, whether it's in an explosive search capacity and making sure that venues are safe, to the millions of pounds worth of drugs and firearms, cash that's recovered from criminal activity that of course we can turn around and put back into policing of our dog section. So they really do astound me every day, if I'm totally honest. Thank you ever so much for coming out today in support, whether you've received a medal or whether you are family, friends or just supporters of the dog section. It's lovely to see you all here today. Some special thank yous to our guests. Phenomenal job that all of you do all of the time in driving forward and supporting the dog section and our dogs, who inevitably have a fantastic life upon retirement. So thank you ever so much for all of your support there. On behalf of everybody at Essex Police and the dog section, thanks for coming. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.